The FNAF 2 movie hits theaters in less than a month, and I decided to celebrate its big screen return by designing over 20 custom popcorn buckets, starting with Mr. Cupcake. I decided to go with his movie design because my goal is to make these buckets feel like real items, and if Blumhouse ever decides to release an official version, that's the design they'll go with. Future weirdos here. I just saw the tweet about the official Five Nights at Freddy's 2 popcorn buckets. For the sake of argument of this video, yeah, let's just ignore those. Anyways, back to the video. I kept the design pretty faithful to the original and even gave him the sharp blades and his disgusting cupcake guts. But if you don't like the idea of stabbing your fingers every time you reach for popcorn, I also made another version based on the second game, which is more kid-friendly for both you and your fingers. Coming up next is the man himself, Freddy Fazbear. I wasn't really sure how to turn his design into a popcorn bucket without crossing the line of realism, because unlike Cupcake, this one isn't exactly bucket-shaped. The simplest solution was to attach his head to a standard bucket. Someone please keep count of how many times I said bucket in this video. And surprisingly, it started to look like something that could actually exist. It even included a little nod to the mask mechanic. But this is Freddy Fazbear we're talking about. He's supposed to look menacing. He's the face of a horror franchise after all. And right now, he just looks like a guy stuck in a bucket. I hope you're still counting. Luckily, it was an easy fix, since all I did was add his jaw, but now I kind of crossed the realism line because how would you put popcorn in this one without dropping it through his mouth? Never mind, I solved it. To access the ungodly amount of popcorn this thing can hold, you can either remove his top hat or open a hatch in the back, a subtle reference to his movie design. And since I already had the model done, I made a Golden Freddy version too. I'm not sure they'd ever actually make this one, considering how little screen time he had in the first movie, but hey, it's a fun idea nonetheless. For my next design, I decided to go with Withered Bonnie. Besides the cupcake, this one might be the most likely character to be adapted into a custom bucket, because who wouldn't want to eat their popcorn from the head of a faceless rabbit? Please, keep your hand down. Unlike the others, Bonnie has a lot more detail to work with, and since real companies have to simplify things to make them cheaper and easier to mass produce, I had to do the same. Honestly, things only started getting out of hand with the wires, because this guy has a lot of them. Luckily, there's an easy fix. If you make the wires thick enough to fill in the empty space, you can strike a balance where it still looks detailed without actually having too many of them. The only real downside to this design is the space. I could have removed his endo jaw to buy more space, but without it, he looks pretty weird. And honestly, most people buy these things as collectibles rather than for practical use, so it's not that big of a problem anyway. I also made a second version where he's wearing his mask, an idea I borrowed from Firefoop, who's actually the whole reason I made this video in the first place. A lot of the ideas and designs here are inspired by her concepts, so definitely check her out. She's an amazing artist, you won't regret it. Before moving on, I think this is a perfect time to go through a few designs that don't really need their own dedicated segments. One of these is a series of standard popcorn buckets themed around the toy animatronics. From all the promotional material we've seen so far, it looks like these characters will play a big part in the movie, so it only makes sense to have a few designs featuring them. This simple approach also feels like something we could realistically get in theaters. But that's not all. I have a few more designs for these guys that I'll show you in a second. Until then, another simple option is this top hat bucket. I actually got this idea from someone on Twitter, and I have to admit, it's a smart one. I could totally see this one as a possible design in a few theaters. And finally, we have this stage-inspired design, with Foxy's arms peeking out of the curtains. My original idea was to base the stage on the Pirate's Cove from the first game, but I think the movie's design fits better with the realism rule I've been following throughout the video. On top of that, I made another version featuring the Yellow Rabbit, because I really wanted to do one for this character since he's such a key part of the franchise. But I wasn't quite sure how to design it, until I landed on the stage idea, which really manages to portray the character just perfectly. As I said earlier, the toys have such a big role in the movie, and giving them only these buckets doesn't do them justice. But luckily, I can fix that pretty quickly thanks to their one unit design of the heads. All I have to do is to make a replica of those and fill it with popcorn. Here is the toy Freddy bucket that opens in the exact same way as the Freddy one, both having closer design elements. And because I had his head already made, I decided to make a Faztalker bucket. It's pretty common for theaters to turn items used in the movie into popcorn buckets, and this one is no exception. Next is the toy Chica bucket, featuring a removable beak and rotable eyes, so you can switch to her alternate look without needing to buy a second bucket. There is also an alternate design, this one based on classic Chica, and a final one based on Balloon Boy. Mangle doesn't have a bucket because its head design doesn't share the same one unit design the other does, and it would make it a bit trickier to work with. And neither does Toy Bonnie because I can't beat the 1020 mode. But that's just a theory. And the final design of the episode is none other than the puppet. He's such an iconic part of the second game, and the movie seems to embrace that perfectly. Before diving into the design itself, I feel legally obligated to clarify that when I say he, I'm referring to the animatronic, not the person who possesses the puppet. Otherwise, a bunch of dedicated fans might have a problem with me. His design works so well in this scenario because of his music box that's just perfect as a popcorn bucket. And even though the box alone would work just fine, especially with the movie design, I think it would be such a missed opportunity to not add the puppet himself to the design. So I made him peek outside the box, which is a reference to the way he seems to work in the movie. And there you have it, a fun collection of popcorn buckets for the Five Nights at Freddy's movies. As I'm writing this, there's no official announcement regarding those. Hey, so Speed from the future again here. As I stated at the beginning of the video, yeah, there's already been an announcement of these buckets, but you and I made a pact not to talk about it. All right? You remember that, don't you? Good. Back to the video. Except for something in Brazil, but hopefully we'll get something soon. Let me know which one is your favorite and which other designs you'd like to see turned into popcorn buckets. And if this video felt a little short, why not check out this one, where I designed FNAF plushies, or this one, where I made a FNAF game in just 30 days. That's it for this video. See everyone in the next one. Bye bye guys, take care.